It's your boy, Cardinal Red, and we back for some more Ali Land boxing talk. So let's get it.
There's a lot of good boxers that can be number one pound for pound, but it's up to the people who are gonna choose. I mean, for me, I always believe myself, but I don't want to boast about that. And I think that there's a lot of boxers. One of those boxers is Lomachenko. Let me see, go. A good boxer, and other some fighters.
Yo, it's your boy Cardinal Red, and we back for some more of that Ali Land boxing talk. Let's get it, y'all. And today we talking about the possible upcoming match between Manny Pacquiao and Vasyl Lomachenko. This is a hot topic in boxing right now. And I just wanted to, take a few minutes and speak on it, touch on it a little bit. I enjoy watching both of these fighters, man. They both bring different components to the game. But they both have pushed the levels very high within the sport of boxing. So it's awesome to have this potential matchup. Who do I see as the favorite in this fight? I would have to say it depends on what weight class that they're what weight that they're gonna have the bout at. At 135, I would say it's a draw. I would call it a draw. And it's a 50-50 fight. Anybody can win. At 140, I would give the slight edge to Manny Pacquiao. And anything above 140, I would have to give Manny a slight edge just because Loma has never fought within those weights. He's never been up at that high of a weight yet, so I wouldn't give him the leg up at anything above 140, and even at 135, I couldn't give him I couldn't make him the favorite because Pacquiao is already, he's done everything you can do in the sport of boxing at 135, so I would still have to have Pacquiao. I would make it, like I said, an even fight. I would give neither one of them the edge. And at 135, I would just say it's a draw. Will it happen? I'm seriously doubting it because I don't think Lomachenko wants to move up in weight. And to be honest, it would be idiotic for Manny Pacquiao to go down in weight at this point in his career. Even though he can do it, and I'm pretty sure he can make 135 easily, it just doesn't make sense, especially if you plan on fighting 2 to 3 more times, and Lomachenko is your next opponent. It makes no sense to drop nearly 12 pounds to go fight at 135, and then potentially win the fight and come back and have to put those 12 pounds back on to fight back at 147, for your next bout. It's just too much. If anybody could do it, Manny Pacquiao could do it, but I feel like there's just too much for somebody's body to try to take at this point in their career. What are the interesting dynamics in this fight? I would have to say speed would be the most interesting. Who's faster, at this point? Manny Pacquiao is an incredibly fast boxer. Vasyl Lomachenko is a young guy, and he's incredibly fast, but he's incredibly crafty too. So Manny Pacquiao's not super crafty with the way he fights, but he's precise with the way he punches. He's very fast with the way he delivers his blows, and his foot movement is one of a kind. Which Vasyl Lomachenko as well, his foot movement is one of a kind. It's something special. No other fighter moves the way he moves. Even everybody's favorite right now, Terrence Crawford, doesn't have. I wouldn't even say Terrence Crawford has Manny Pacquiao's footwork. Manny Pacquiao's footwork is one of a kind. Lomachenko's footwork is one of a kind. Even at the level that everybody puts Terrence Crawford on right now. Even though I don't put him on that level, I would say he's not even on the level of those two guys' footwork. So As far as footwork goes, I would say the edge would go to. I'm gonna go and give it to. Even though I like Manny, Manny Pacquiao a lot, I would give footwork to Loma because he's just a younger guy, so maybe his footwork might be a little more on point. As far as hand speed, I'm gonna give that one to Manny. I would say, even though they both have incredibly fast hands and can do some wild tricks with their hand speed, I think Manny Pacquiao, because his punching, people say his hands are so heavy and his punching power is so underrated. I would have to give the in the category of speed converting into power to Manny, because I don't see Loma, especially not at 140 or anything above that, really packing a walloping punch. Who can take the better punch? That would be. I think that would be the what would the one factor that might end that fight. Who can actually take the better punch between those two guys? We all know what Marquez did to Manny Pacquiao a few years back. Was it a fluke? Did he step on his foot? We'll never know. He knocked him out, so we can't half in the fact that he did knock Manny out. And I don't think, Lomachenko's never been knocked out. I believe he's still undefeated. As far as who can take the better punch, I've seen Lomachenko knocked down. Nobody's ever knocked him out. But I've seen him knocked down, and this was not from a super heavy puncher. This was still from a 135 puncher. With that a punch that he got hit with that from Manny Pacquiao, would that have knocked him out? Probably so. So as far as who probably can take the better punch, at 135, I'm gonna give it to Manny, and at anything above 140, I'm still gonna give it to Manny, because we've all seen what he can do. He's been there, done that, and Loma is still, like Terrence Crawford, is still really untested, man, as far as being in big wars and being battle tested. Lomachenko and Terrence Crawford are unbattle tested, whereas Manny Pacquiao is really battle tested. Whether he can still take, another one of those Marquez punches at this point in his career, we'll have to see. He took many a headbutt from the GOAT, Jeff Horn. And I'm pretty sure some of them headbutts he took was the equivalent to a Marquez punch, and he took them, so, take it for what it is, I guess. Is this fight actually going to happen? Like I said earlier, I'm really not sure, and I'm not betting a whole lot on this fight actually happening. I want to see it happen, but unfortunately, because the weights are so far apart at this point, even though the matchup is so intriguing, and it would do a lot for the sport of boxing, I think unfortunately at this point in his career, being so early within his career, Lomachenko has a lot more to lose if he loses that fight. And even though I don't think that would be a super big, like Canelo Mayweather, even though Canelo lost that fight, Canelo still has a big name at this, at this point in his career. So I feel like even if Lomachenko fought Pacquiao and lost, it would take a little bit of the fan affair away from him, but I don't think he would fall off the map in any way. But I think he stands to lose a lot more than Manny Pacquiao if he actually loses that fight. And if Manny wins that fight, he stands to gain a lot, from that victory. It's not just a roundabout victory, not saying Lucas Matthysse is roundabout, even though some people are saying Lucas Matthysse gave up or that he didn't come with the warrior spirit, but I don't feel like him losing that fight would be like Lucas Matthysse losing to Manny Pacquiao in any way. But I do feel like it would take a little bit of the fanfare away. But for Manny, it gives him a big boost to say it shows that he can still rumble with the young lions in the jungle. You know what I'm saying? So Lomachenko just has a lot more to lose when it comes to this fight than Manny Pacquiao. So I feel like there's no way in H Bob Arum's gonna take that risk. Just like he's unwilling to take the risk with putting Manny Pacquiao up against Terrence Crawford, which is I think is the real reason Manny was ready to leave. You can't keep matching Manny Pacquiao up against fighters he's fought once or twice before, and those guys are not, their names are not getting any bigger than what they are. Even though, guys like Bradley and Brandon Rios, they got nice names and they're decent fighters, but they're never going to be on the level of a Floyd Mayweather or even, guys like Amir Khan or, Kell Brook, within their own countries, because they come with a country behind them. They have so much more fanfare behind them. Guys like Bradley, and they're just small local USA guys. So I feel like that's why Pacquiao kind of had to get away from Bob Arum, because I don't feel like Bob Arum was going to ever match him up against Terrence Crawford, because he knows Pacquiao is still a little too dangerous. So I don't feel like he's ever going to match him up against Lomachenko, because Pacquiao is still at 40 years old very dangerous as a boxer. So man, that's been Ali Land Boxing Talk for the night, man. About to go and lay it down. Alright, peoples, we out of here.